Adam, what's up? I care a lot. Talk over to below. Yeah, Guy Jalba has a music for every occasion. Guy has the right music for every occasion. Allah baraka. So let me finish my notes quick. Because my love major. Allah baraka for your time. Thank you guys. You mentioned a mail, guys. It didn't take long. Casa, ahí estamos. Fama la princess. Dabo. Kaya Dabo Jula. Awesome. Alright, let's get on with it. Jelly bar go in the background. Okay, let me know if Jelly is too loud. Inshallah. Okay, inshallah. Let's double our effort. So, Al Dasuba. More big content now. Thank you for taking your time. So, let me get in alone, but coming after Yaya Jammeh bala Yaya Jammeh yalla drum. Wo man kenyen tiko nimoy ineng walay doya walay anyalo kang abogalo kang fenna fo ala yeta da ye kementi aka modde mi la ke kam fa bar mem muntel kan nyantoti wolon ko gambenol be mayitande kan zafu man ko be mayitande kan o gambenol in general for the longest time wolan maturity dala ni siata modi hakil maya nyante telama majani be suwo ko ni doko dunda nyola wala ni dino dunda nyola kudo kele ko babu sala wala ko be kudo kelala alfa sa fo ko habari to siata di la nyanta hakil maya so gambia fana be wotam bol ba on dal siata hakil maya nyantantel lama ana trata di ala mo doli nim banko dole nyinta ba tara bi me mem fogam ani membe kedo wata kala kilend man nakada wati za fentena ngana jusula bal yayi tandi kuol me yalon ko wolle be kering wala ko mol men yalon ko wolle far bari Yaya Jammeh be damanto mote feng expect no la bulite yilla la ferna ko bona Yaya Jammeh bulu naman kenyum kusi vale because at the moment ay wotani molla atani na journal so na finda nang ay mayitani na katam wolde amota na ay tani na ko tan katam wolde nsenyi lañi na ko wati na finda nang o mo kilo ba kala wolde doro so ala do ya rol lamba ala nen di rol lambang ala manya sifa na ba kala ka kem dalilo men kama mbe ngalon adi so man laring ala nata ke konnanteti ala ya da fangol men dede ko wala kon bata be telaka so ntelu mem ntel kan nyanto ko nga fa nyame ba on tel siara ntel sa ka hakil mal ni aja mol bebe bayndi ka ibe nyaato mo buka ko man ko bay nyaato ko do ka wala bay so ni la fleta la identity tala ya city ya ke political party la identity pour ka mol ñewndi wo political party la italia continue wala je na traité la UDP kaya ko man ni kaya ala saw afoy bismillah men fana be siri be ñaati le nay ni mol be dending kula ni ke ñaati li te mo menti ka wodo e ka fa man trente le mo dol mo defana la dan ko to yaal mo ma fo moy falim mol lok wol kam ni mol ye falim di because itel kam même fo yete yela mandi yete ke wot kariñol malla fi kariñol malla fi kari otom fana manta la fi la kariñol wala kariñol malla fi nam fana manta la fi le wonte daji ka ken dot mo be kanu nga mo be kañande bari ye fan kanu ko tambi mo dol sur wala af buga sa bopa o mo suma bopa mo la xawa ka finaari suma bopa mala genal du bañna ngam fan kanul o manke ñinde ko ngeto kon so ndala fan kanu ni nga woyitandi ite fanjo ko no ko ñende ko na umito la hajo ntabe na fan kanu la yitandi nga so sa mol be kanu nga mol be kañandi bari ngam fan kanu ka tambi mo ko den wo mankasiya because ni me fan kanu ite mo do kanu no wo scientifically from is established if you don't love yourself you cannot love anybody else so fan kanu ka tambi mol be ni e fan kana ka tra ye fallon so ni mol ko be kala kudo de ka balo wala ini muño se tara gang ini ma se tara ma ku kega so ya jema be itan na itan dinna so fa la ku da fa fano keda nta ma je folo de ma fa market bari ma moy folo ma wa kande fin na ka konne because ni manjari miral kul ker faatu hayna yaake mol bebe tandule be jayila nga yila nyina la from a responsible media house nin ku kere me nga man ko nyima ya tan mo la ko ha antel ta nyun ko andu mansonga so tel ben dabon la ye ngalan nako GDC they have no control over what Jammeh is saying Jammeh mala Jammeh yala keka bari Jammeh bisira equatorial Guinea problème on men bekra Gambia atale keta sababot ni kata la metinu la ka telephone tay ka sike ka commande ka fa ko na diam na metinu la na ko mo ko ma foje mba sendi le teleka natra mol be yilla ko Jammeh be damendo bi hakilo be murla fankan na jogo ha ko leketa mul men yalan ko man ko ku kendo di woto mbat nga Gambianol bolo sey ngam fam maji tubawol ka ko le delusion Jammeh manke wo mo sifa ate fe ana man ku jaw APRC ko membe APRC bi wol fana fe Jammeh ne man ku jaw so wol mo molete men yalan ko mo tewol yela mande no le yeke ku doti be la men be continue wala barabe danna dia mo dam mala ka du nyama ma si mambang ko ka wuli ka fitunol be molka be danna dia mo le be kuma kundamal fala be kuma diminante kumol fala nyin kamala kar yak soro bonni molbul bare ko nga fa nyame nyaka solo ko do bi je bu ke nyaka so wala ke nyaka sala nyaadi le nitel be la ma nyaale be la kunta yale te da bondi je ite la hajo le be la menne yo continue wala ke kamfa wala kala fle fa so nga men expect mama kandegul wala nyindi ko in the first place a manyan the microphone de la ya Jammeh ka fa na dia mo na mitinu la because mo si va mati ngalon bare ni son da faketa ana kuma faje me yalan ko amanke kuma bendin yefen na yafa mol ko nying dal ngani kuma baylantal man tara nyum kuma ko bari be sire be dere e be mira kam foni nga fo nyi nyama be Jammeh kam fala ba foni nga fo nyi nyama be kulti nyala ba fo finde na yafo yon ko nyim manke siloti wala nan dal sa ala tandu ndal bambe UDP bawo kula keda menga mamme keda Musa Jobata la ko de kabra findana moli yela kam fada yitande je because mole me alan ko ya tumi kulal me an ko kuja wala andu melne to lala ka mol malam folo afindana to lo UDP be ngona man kuma kasi ma fon fajito kayta ni mol ka tabe UDP la say bari UDP ko wulde ko malla fi ni yetara lo platform wala me alan ko na batili de betar lo njele ngay tan di victime wala kontel mang sonyum ku sifa ay mo ne ka findana ko kontel la mistake ko xana tara ngalon ka man ka la mistake ko bawa mitu non mo la ka organize protocol le be je aussi fa bar pour que banko mol ke kilinda manke dala dia motal nga ke kilindi one Gambia my tribe is Gambia what kind of nonsense is that so basically what menketa Jammeh fam fala nawalta ya jube aya fanje min dole Gambian jama bije na jube ya ka fanje wala ko ata be nyama wala nyama so ni ya Jammeh diam la ka diam wala wol dum dunya se kirle faaye kiri ko rek wolte yalla male be nyame bi lawal nyam ko sin ya Jammeh den taw ku kilo wala wo konnante ya so ni en telefona yalla man din kera konnante yelde woton dal ni be kanyanta ba ni fisara modi bu ko so ye jiate be damen te ka tuwa te central droit te tari de bayn la dro yeah exactly mune ka ba Musa Baba din jaba fa la men jaba I don't know anyway yeah mbatal Baba din so Gambian ol alliance ko kilna wala ko nga sabaro so nse campagne wanya nka tamanin hakilola so ñim fatan fansol me la te du nanda mal tema nga kata ntel benn men nga continuer wal comme nga fa ñame ni be ñaato mol ke bayin ni be ko mo bu ke bayin e ko ma la jube do ye jelel ba mol be yete dat so ntel be ñaato wota nga continuer na ñaato ta ñimbe même a jaara langati ama njariye mo neng ama njariye mo daya because ni itel kam ke ni te o ka do ni be kanyanta so te ñanta men kala say wala te ye fankan ni mo ka ke do yalla kay tan dila ko hayta man ke fen ay tan dala ko tam moment tan ñanta woto ko si mem mandi ala le ke woto mo me ke woto so fankanu ko tambi ni la ma ni me yalla ko be janto mbal sa sele bar musol be gambie me be di folo afo baba ko lafle mbar musol be dal la man nga ada bal ke ji e tantangol kosi ye sawur bal kosi bara wulol ye lo ni ye kulli sore ko be kulli wuli ndo kala gambia fo ngal kan korngol ko manen ngana ado farmansan ni ngana kangol fo ngana fengol dung. You don't need to apologize for who you are. If your self-love is viewed as your hatred for others, that is their problem. But you cannot love other people if you don't love yourself. And loving yourself means knowing who you are, what values you uphold. So, Gambian baking. Alalem beda, ay ñindoke mandinkodi, ay ñindoke suruwati, ay ñindoke fuloti, ay ñindoke manjagoti, ay ñindoke koroninkodi, ay ñindoke masuwankodi, ay ñindoke sarakuloti. Fisamante yabe damento be sonno molo kono mo ñaabu ko woto. Bara yeke menti, ni tafana mo fintindi. Surwa ka me li nga don so ko bañe. Dafa fekka nga gen ci ñaaw. So ite fana menti ni mo fintindi mo be mëna karano le debul. Ni la kamo fe ko tribalism. Ni la ado celebrate ko tribalism. Sa ite beto law mosi yalla mol ko do jedro mol ye la ñamento ye la wo ñamaji. Amanjere mo na manjere mo doya. Ngo ifan celebrate ba ay tandila ko ka men fonta man ma waje so ñim pat ñim bina men fala Gambia dindingol alal hakilot Yaya Jammeh nga video men se akunu mero ka fa damande Yaya Jammeh abe kumol fakam faka fa Yaya Jammeh ma fallo amana ñalo Yaya Jammeh lota in the early days of the coup d'etat before the end of 1994 a lot of platform order ninta the GRTS la audio archive because of time or teleman so the follow Yaya Jammeh kata malum fata famu jankadimol aya fa dal radio to mol be amoy he said he doesn't know if he is a bastard aya fanna follow nan janabe mo don na so no finta na kakal nen na kakal doyal o man jari kam fa Yaya Jammeh ya fon le follow ne akata nata nyawata malo. So ninga aja at the latter part of the assembly celebrate la ba sama political platform wala ba nyola ka ko kala janno be sile aja melo political platform din tata GRTS la radio archive wato TV man so follow mba jela je Yaya Jammeh ko at malum fata fo mu jankadi mo ni man kan ndro atale so ni wo kana na ka fidda ka fa ka tel nek ala nyaka sa Yaya Jammeh halakire. So to you the young people, Jammeh has a proven track record of being a liar. He is a liar, he is deceptive, he is a very dishonest person. Just like I was saying, before he insulted anybody else, he stood on a political platform in public, recorded on radio, saying he doesn't know if he is a bastard. He attacked himself first. He attacked his tribe before he attacked anybody else. That doesn't mean that is excusable, but it just goes to show you that this is a type of divisive person that he is, and we should not fall for his bait. Ngafale Nabaro is desperate. The only thing left now was to, engineer civil unrest in that country, so that as a meno man say ala nyamen. Wodra mun na problem od ngala falodo li ne finde ka mo len kal fangol ni murol sam. Male bol sam ma kama kati ka sam marché do mol fana o marché ki ngolo. Bar ni be ñaato ite ke fam majile ite ke sabar laat ite sundu ko ngote molbe man fayla ya fay kam ite continue la ñaato tala do because kon nante yaw bu kat na mole yalam to ñaawo be findilal and until that time that the world will come to an end, Yaya Jammeh will be recorded in history as the worst president, worst leader that Gambia ever had. In fact, not just Gambia, but when they list the worst despots and tyrants of Africa, Yaya Jammeh's name would be there. There's nothing he can do about that. History, akadam belenya. So we are all going to sit down and relay that history to the people. His name has gone into history. Until the end of the world, people would know how bad he was. That was over 1,500, nearly 1,500 years ago. How many thousands of years ago, Yaya Jammeh the same thing. We will record it and pass it down because I can't nyala. I am making a even Mariam Jammeh and Mohammed Jammeh, they will dissociate themselves from Yaya Jammeh. That's the type of person he has become. So, wala cool, Tonya, a moment ni moya attack a kamfat. Because it's hurtful. But don't be insulted by somebody who cannot go any lower than Yaya Jammeh is. He is in the dustbin of history. He is among the list of the worst people to have ever graced God's beautiful earth, and he can do nothing about that. Hitler has relatives. If he doesn't have any children, he was born into a family, and that family had other family members. But look around Germany, see if you find somebody named Hitler or admit that they were related to Hitler. Because of what he did, the same thing would happen. Mariam Jammeh will be ashamed of Yaya Jammeh. Mohammed Jammeh will be ashamed of him to the point that they will not tell their children the story about Yaya Jammeh. They will try to shield their children from Yaya Jammeh and what he did in that country. So if those APRC minions are there trying to promote Yaya Jammeh, let them go right ahead. It just speaks to their character. What we expected when defeat came in 2016, APRC was in shock. We get that. They'll be in denial. We get that. But after the TRRC was set up, we all saw what happened. We all heard what happened at the TRRC. We saw the people who committed crimes come out and say, we committed these crimes, and we all know where the orders came from. At that point, what we expect from our fellow citizens is to realize that we have been backing somebody who in public portrayed one persona, but in private was completely different persona. We don't expect you to come and apologize to Gambians because you didn't do any wrong. But at that point, with that realization, what you need to do is, I don't want to be associated with this guy because this is not what I stand for. But what did they do? Yaya Jammeh didn't do that. They are accusing him wrongly. He didn't do any of that. We need to hear from him. The only time they fell out with Jammeh is when their interest was threatened. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about the Gambia. They can sit there and speak flowery language. But they don't care about anything other than their own personal interests. So I'm speaking to you, the young children. Yaya Jammeh is a proven liar. And his tool is those educated fools who might tell you that they have master's degrees and PhDs spewing the same lies he spewed because they were born shortly before Jammeh came to power or during the time that he was in power, have no clue about Gambian history or our political evolution. So they go along with the narrative, proving to everybody that they're as bigoted as Yaya Jammeh is. Look at your friends list. Anybody you hear saying, what about, or but, without outright condemnation, trying to draw parallels between what Jammeh said and what he didn't say, they are the bigots that Jammeh is talking to. He held a mirror to the Gambia, saw himself reflected in so many of our citizens, that they share the same hate and the same bigotry that he has inside him, and he spoke to them. And Mama Kande gave them that platform. Like I said, APRC should have been abandoned by decent citizens. They are our fellow brothers and sisters. Sometimes you support somebody. Look at Adam Barrow. We all supported him, but he turned out to be the idiot that he is. So what are you waiting for? Withdraw your support and go to somebody else. You don't know people. You cannot know people. You have hopes in them, you have expectations in them, and then you judge them. In fact, you don't have a right to judge anybody, but you can make your assessment based on their public conduct. Yaya Jammeh conducted himself well in public. So if that endears people to him because you love religion, oh, Mokendol, my Muslim promote, you love him for that, fine. Oh, he's a Pan-Africanist and I love Pan-Africanism, I want to be proud of myself, and you supported him, fine. That's his public persona that he portrayed. But what he did in the dark, there's no way of you knowing. So we forgive you for that. But when the evidence comes out that he was doing evil in the dark, what we expect from you is withdraw from Yaya Jammeh, withdraw your support, withdraw your loyalty, because that's not who you are. but you continue to say that it is a lie, you're still in denial, that means you share the same traits as Yaya Jammeh. There is no, that is why when they say alliance with APRC, we made noise. And they say, oh, you have APRC people in party X, party Y. Let me ask you people, which party does not have an enabler in amongst themselves? If an enabler means somebody who ever worked in the APRC government. Because Mama Kanda was a National Assembly member for APRC, for Jima. So he's an enabler. But today people are touting him as, you know, best replacement for Adama Barrow. They're running after him around the whole entire country. CA was formed by people like Dominic Mendy, and he's still a forerunner in there. Was he not the former finance minister of Jammeh? In the last National Assembly elections, did PDIs not float a candidate who was formerly an APRC National Assembly member? I'm not saying UDP because they say UDP embraced all the former APRC. Yes, we accept. But I'm trying to make a list of which party is there in the Gambia that does not have an enabler among. That is because in reality, these are our fellow citizens. What we expect is for them to realize that there was wrong being done that they were not privy to. Now that they know that there was wrong being committed, they distance themselves from APRC and continue their political activism or to exercise their right to political association by joining other people. That means effectively abandoning. Yes, they committed crimes. Yes, they did wrong. Yes, they said things. Can we forgive them? That's a personal choice. But we cannot remove them from the political process. We cannot expect that they will be in the country and not have a voice. So we give them a platform that also we can agree some people shouldn't get a platform or prominence in certain parties. But they are citizens. At the end of the day, we cannot take away their rights. But APRC as a party was conceived, created, sustained by Yaya Jammeh. So if all these revelations came out and they are still there, Yaya Jammeh lies. That's why his minions lie. They will go to TRRC, hold the Quran and lie. And you know they're lying. We even start mocking them because we know they're lying. Even we who are not professionals, ordinary citizens, when they get asked by Asafal certain questions, the way they answer them, you know this is exactly a lie. So if the minions can lie, what about the man himself, the devil himself, Yaya Jammeh? From the way the 1994 coup d'etat was conceived, he lied about that. From what happened November 11, he lied about that. What he did to Sadibu and Sana, he lied about it. He lied about every single episode of his presidency up to December 2016. He lied that he did not lose the election. So a proven liar telling you that UDP is a tribalist party and you buy into it, you don't own your mind. That is the fact. Somebody else is pulling the plugs for you because that kind of laziness is unforgivable. Know your history. Learn your history. Read your history. Know what transpired in the past. You are young, but there's a saying in Madinka, Tulole Keba married. There are people alive today that witnessed pre-independence, during independence, post-independence Gambia, which is the First Republic. They witnessed Yaya Jammeh's time. Ask them what their experiences were. But you want to cling onto one man's narrative. He spews that lie, and then you have these educated fools come out and say, in fact, he is right, because the Gambia has always been a tribal enclave where tribalism ruled. Who in their right mind would even compare, would mention Yaya Jammeh's name and Jawara's name in the same book, if not to say that Yaya Jammeh overthrew Jawara? He was not perfect, but Yaya Jammeh is the worst kind of human being that the Gambia can have. And like I said, he held a mirror in front of his eyes and saw his reflection in so many Gambians. And he knew who they are. He targets them, sends them messages. But all they can do is talk. And their talk is engineered for one thing, to generate a reaction from us. And when we react, they will say, this is what we've been telling you all along. So let's remain focused. As hurtful as it is, I admit it is hurtful. But it's not gonna do any more damage to you than if you react. Because now then you're giving them the ammunition that they need to keep going on. Celebrate who you are. Love everybody. Hate no one. Let that be your policy. But love yourself more than you love anybody. And loving yourself means loving your cultural identity, your racial identity, your ethnic identity, whatever identity you have. Love that more than you love anybody else. If people think because of that you hate them, let them go with that. But you should not belittle yourself in front of people simply because they think you are something else. That's their problem, not your problem. So like I said, me barin kelbe sasila jan ni mengi alan ko bare muso bije ma beti follow ini ba ma ka cha fa ngon ko fonte kari bit laba andal tal bare muso fa ni ko bal beti la tal ye beti al yalla dar fanol dum al yalla kalamal mu dal blokon ngan culture revive what used to be the case. Let's find out about it. Many along ko hanibi ya feel ko nyaka boyo mu kula di me an ko tel ba celebrate. Let them go ahead and do it, you know. We have people talking about it and trying to discourage them from doing it, fine. But if it is happening, celebrate your culture. How you do it is up to you. But niya kulliyo soto se urubal kumanda ale jitan tangolo jara musuba dongoy ne maño bito si ale mañol bit ndo nga momolo njande ma yaga ngoy me biti ba cool start la nga kajaba ale maño bito ka bring your culture out, celebrate it, show them that you don't care about their hatred, you love who you are and you're going to celebrate it. Enough is enough. We don't need to be violent to anybody, we don't need to curse anybody out, we don't need to insult anybody. Like I said, Jammeh is just being Jammeh. But to you, the young people, do you want to inherit a country that is going to be so divided that you cannot put it back together? Or are you ready to take responsibility, stop being lazy, read about your history, know the truth about what we call the Gambia and how it came about? There is enough evidence there. You hear one story from this side, another story from this side. In between is your brain that God gave you. That's what you use, you analyze, you assess and say, okay, is this logical? Does this even make sense? But just because you like the person, he says something, you accept it, then this is not functioning. Because that's it, like words come from this way and then from that way. That's why I have a tulukilim. Like you hear it from this side and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna block this one. So basically what comes here just stays. You don't need to assess which one you're gonna take. So it comes from this way and that way, and in between is your brain. All these are symbolic. Use your brain. At the end of the day, look at Rwanda. We still have Hutus and Tutsis after they killed how many million? I mean, how many hundreds of thousands? Almost 2 million, I guess. But still in that country, you have Hutus and Tutsis. And then you have people around Barrow telling you buy knives, buy cutlasses or machetes. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done and dusted, what is going to happen? In the Gambia, you will say, how many ethnic groups we have? We have Mandinkas, we have Fullers, we have Wolofs, we have Jolas, we have Sarahulas, Manjagos. They will all be there. You cannot exterminate an ethnic group. So what is your problem? Celebrate who you are. Let other people celebrate who they are. When it comes to politics, support who you want to support. I always give this example. In the US, you have people registering to be either Democrats or Republicans. In normal political season, you have more Democrats, obviously. Maybe about 60 to 70% are Democrats, or 65% are Democrats. I'm just saying at the top of my head. But when Obama ran in 2008, 98% of black people voted for him, whether they are Republican, whether they are Democrats. Why? Because they see themselves in him. Identity politics happens everywhere. What we don't want is politicians using that as a bait to divide people. I always give an example. Say, for example, today, if we actually talk about policies that affect us, candidate A says, okay, if I become president, I'm going to ban female circumcision in the country. Candidate B says, if I become president, I will not ban it. I will just, encourage people to stop doing it. Now, tell the Gambian people, vote on this issue. This is the only issue on the table. Majority of people who will vote for the candidate that says that he is going to ban female circumcision will not be from the Mandinka tribe, they will not be from the Sarahole tribe, they will not be from the Jola tribe, because those people practice it. They will favor the candidate who said he is not going to put laws in place. That's identity politics. We can debate about right and wrong, but people want to see themselves reflected in leadership, which is okay. How people vote is their own choice. That does not equate tribalism. But what you're doing is one person is portraying this narrative that, oh, these people are bad, you need to be fearful of them. And then you stirring up that sentiment among a certain segment of society. And once you're saying are bad, are now calling for nationalism. Because that's what's happening. Oh, when it's tribalism, it's only when the Mandinkas are involved. Fine, okay, Mandinkas, let's come. Nationalism now, Mandinka nationalism. Let's celebrate who we are. Let's stand and unite. Mandinka ya fasa. That starts. Where do you think that's going to lead? more division in the country. Which is why whenever this happens, there's no whataboutism, there's no if, there's no, oh, you remember when, condemn it. Don't give platform to such idiots like Yaya Jammeh. Anyway, he's done. So all he can do is sit in Equatorial Guinea and bark like a dog. He would not set his foot out of that country. You think Yaya Jammeh's only problem is coming to the Gambia? Let him try to leave Equatorial Guinea and see. You are sitting in Gambia thinking like your brains are not working, or Adam Barrow can bring him to the Gambia. Let him try. Let Yaya Jammeh even leave Equatorial Guinea, which is the next country next to, I don't know, like, let him go to Cameroon. There's another dictator there. Let him get on a plane and try to leave Equatorial Guinea and see what happens to him. You're sitting there deluded in your minds. Yaya Jammeh knew that you hate as much as he hates, so he's talking to you. He's used to attention. He's an attention whore. He likes being worshipped, and now he's not getting it. He's using these little occasions to come out and say, hey, you know what? And then, oh, Yaya Jammeh said. He craves that because that's what he's missing. And it's pathetic seeing our fellow citizens going along with it as if they don't have any sense. But, you know, you're going to be who you are. That's fine. What our responsibility is, love yourself, love everybody else, hate nobody, but love yourself more. That is not hating other people. If you love yourself more, you're just being grateful to God for who he made you to be. It's that simple. So let them do what they are doing. Let them say what they're saying. Let it roll off your back like water, because that shows that you are the target. And you don't be... Targets are always in front of you. They are never behind you. Your target is always in front of you. So keep being you. Celebrate who you are. Let Yaya Jammeh sit in Equatorial Guinea and, you know, miss his golden old days, because they are never coming back. And let him dare take one step outside of Equatorial Guinea and see what happens to him. So, mbal Daniela, kobe nga fa Jammeh nibe mol nyato, wale siateti, etel ka hakil maya. So la kumol mi ba fokang, amanke kumakutat. Nga alon no ko ben konole, ibe fanne fenjindi kandron ke sute. So ni o mo sifal sute, ida bon ni la koor, ite bele menne yo continue wa. Ni mol be groupe kinal be kafu killing, ye njika sifa itandila, itandila konta momenti alla enkati. And I'm proud of it. I'm not going to fall for your bigotry, or you're not going to drag me along into what you're doing. We are winning. Let's focus. Niana ya for UDP Manika Patial. Fine. It is easier for UDP Manika Patial. For my father Manka Maniko. Bibida Manka Maniko. Janana Jonana UDP. In fact, he's still Manika anyway. Lamin Boya ANRD Manka Maniko. So it will be easier. Okay, I'm independent because you have all these Manikas. I don't know which one to pick from. The only tool they have in there is to label you. You don't have a point to prove to anybody. If that's what they think, let them think that. Nico Alkalka UDP support manika for ha. At the end of the day. Yeah, you be nothing. So if I had more support, at the moment, if I had your support, because that's what it comes down to for you, that, you know, if you support UDP, you are maninga, after at the end of the day. Then if I moment, if I had our support, you'll candidate to find your support. Then if we all support who we want to support based on tribe, let's see who's going to lead. It's that simple. You know, because there's no logic. You're going to more out like a tower on the There's no logic, no reason, no rational, nothing absolutely in that statement. They don't have anything else to say. So stop proving yourself to people. They are not going to, it doesn't matter what you show them. Because by now, Gambia did nothing. All the evidence is there. And we will bring out that evidence and we will write it down and record it in history. For Yaya Jammeh will be known as the worst president in the Gambia, and he can do nothing about that. His fate is already sealed. And those people who want to associate with them, you can go in the same record as him. It's that simple. You know, stop apologizing for who you are, celebrate who you are, embrace who you are, love yourself more than you love anybody else. Because if you don't love yourself, you cannot love anybody else. But never include hate in anything you do. Embrace those who embrace you. Those who don't want to embrace you, let them go their own way. Kumota ranata, adang be world. Ali sabari, albe menali continue ala, alangan UDP promote, alangan politiko ke, nka Jammeh. Tantangol yo kosi, benekino yo domo, nga nyo celebrate, nga jele, from of the State House. What the malaki dimi. So, ital nil dimi na sije, ital nil na ambiance so isi. Alabar.